There was a version of my life in Chicago that looked really good on the outside. Good career, good income, and a city I knew how to move in. And I left anyway. Not because something had went wrong, but because something in me knew that Chicago had given me everything it was going to give. I wanted to find out what came next. I'm Kayla, and in this video, I want to talk about the decision to leave. Not the Dubai part, not what happened after, just the moment I decided to go. What it cost me, what I learned about myself in the process, because I don't think leaving is always about the destination. Sometimes it's about finding out who you are when you remove everything familiar. So for me, Chicago was safety, familiarity, a ceiling that I could see. How my life felt on the inside was different than how it looked to other people. In the inside, I felt like I kept repeating the same thing every day, every year. I kept doing the same moves, going to the same places, hanging out with the same people, having the same job, just like Groundhog Day, literally repeating the same thing. And I was just like, am I going to keep doing this? I wanted something different. I would get new positions, run into the same problems. I would meet new people, run into the same issues. I would be in a new office, same shit, different story. Same shit, different day. And it got to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to keep repeating this. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready for something new. I want to be in a new environment. I didn't have a clear answer on where I was going to go, what I was going to do. I just knew that, okay, this is my time to make a change. I don't have anything holding me here. Actually, I did. I had my place holding me here, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to keep this place. If anything were to fall back on, I'm going to have this. I definitely had a feeling that I knew. I was like, okay, this is my time for a change. I don't have anything holding me back. I'm ready for something new. I just felt it. I felt the time is now. I think I knew that if I was to stay, I would keep doing the same things, that I couldn't grow. And I needed to grow. And it was also part of my Saturn return, so I'm sure Saturn had something to do with it as well, but it was just a feeling. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but I was hoping for the best. I was pushing for the best. So it cost me a lot to leave. I don't know if other people experience this, but it cost me my stability. It cost me consistent income. It cost me comfort. It cost me community of friends. It cost me the career that I was working towards, that I could leverage for the future. It pretty much was like just erasing. Not even erasing. It was a full reset, a full take all this and I'm putting it over here so I could start fresh over. And the decision for me, it was a quick one. I knew, but I was like, okay, let me keep some things in place here so that if it doesn't work out, okay, I can fall back in this way. I can have some securities. I can have, plan B. If it doesn't work out, okay, I can come back to this. What I was moving towards was chasing a bigger version of myself, chasing more freedom, chasing a different lifestyle, trying to get out of the rat race. Proof that I could do it, proof that my skills and everything I had experienced before led me to this moment, and that this was my meal ticket that was going to get me to where I wanted to be, to have the income I wanted, to have the freedom that I wanted, to have the lifestyle, all of that. I was tired of the corporate burnout. I was tired of going to the same places, seeing the same people. I was just over it. I wanted a new, fresh, clean slate. And I'm sure there's other people that experience this when you were born and raised somewhere and you're looking for a place to escape, to get out, to start fresh, to try something new, to be who you want to be instead of what, the people around you in the town wants you to be, that you look for a different place to go. When I told people I was leaving, I got a mix of responses. So some people were saying that I'm crazy. Some people were saying, you don't need to go there, it's dangerous. Some people were saying, oh, it's fake, you don't need to go there. Some people were like, oh, I'm happy for you, chase your dreams, do what you want to do. It was a mix of versions that, part of it was, I'm going to be honest, I can be stuck. And I wasn't seeing anyone else's point of view because I was convinced that it's going to work and that all of the worries that people had, I wasn't going to let them worry me because I was like, well, I'm going for it. I already decided. I already made up my mind. Don't scare me. I'm not sure if other people have had reactions where people put their fears in them. I think it comes from learning from other people's mistakes. It comes from the unknown. It comes from all those different things. But for me, I had those reactions. I had reactions from people that were close to me. But I think at the end of the day, once I had kind of made my mind, everyone pretty much had to get on board. So on the specific departure day when I left, I remember there was a lot of crying. Crying from my family, crying from my friends, just like they were just like, okay. And, they didn't want me to leave. They were sad that I was leaving, but not sad at the journey that I was about to take. And in my body, I didn't have any fear. I wasn't worried. I was just like, I'm going for it. I was excited. And, I think that happens to a lot of people where you're scared, but you're doing it scared. And you're just like, all right, I'm going for it. I'm doing it scared. Oh! And that's how I felt in my body. On the plane, I was just like, all right, here we go. We're doing it. What I know now is that I do have a good sense of discernment. What I know now is that I didn't have boundaries that I am working on now. What I know now is that I've been 90 days sober, and I wouldn't have thought to be sober if I didn't leave. Like I said, I was stuck in the same routine, going out, having a glass of wine every night. And from my experience, I know now that, okay, this is something that I don't need to continue doing. What I know now is that not everyone is a good partner or a good friend. What I know now is that things I was spending money on, is it worth it? Does it mean the same things as before? What I know now is that I can push myself to get out of my comfort zone, even when I don't want to. It's something that I learned that when I do push myself out of my comfort zone, I can learn more. So this video is for anyone who is deciding between taking a leap and deciding that they want something different, they want to get out of their routine, they want to start fresh. To do it. It might not be easy. It's probably gonna hurt. You're gonna get some cuts, scrapes, and bruises. But looking back, you are gonna make changes in your life that you were asking for because you get to experience yourself in a different way, in a different environment, and you get to learn yourself more. And I think that alone is worth the journey. On the other side of the leap is clarity. On the other side of the leap is trust in yourself. And on the other side of the leap is mistakes that you won't repeat again. And on the other side is a glimpse of the life that you know you want and you're chasing toward, and you're a step closer to it. So thanks for watching this video. I'm sharing my personal experiences, my personal story, my personal journey, in hopes that this will help people like me. Tomorrow, I'm taking a hard left turn and I'm talking to you about my travel experiences. I'm talking about an Airbnb scam that cost me about $2,600. how it hit me in Mallorca and what I did about it. It's a completely different energy from today, but I think every traveler needs to hear about it. Subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.